India fast-tracking the fifth generation fighter jets. It's a government approval that has come in for the advanced medium combat jets. AMCA execution model is rolling out. And again, the Atmanirbhar air combat taking wings. Remember, the past few years, especially in the last one decade, we have seen how the Desi push has also come to the fore. Of course, there have been collaborations and deals with other countries, whether it's France, Russia, Israel, but there's been a focus that we shouldn't depend on other countries, and that's the reason that there have been increasingly focus and development, whether it's jets, whether it's arms and ammunition. And now India fast-tracking the 5th gen fighter jets. AMCA execution model has rolled out. That's the first image on your screen. We'll try and get more details on what exactly is the focus on it, what kind of difference does it make to our military power. And remember that AMCA jet is also going to be a focus. It's HAL is the focus here, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. This is Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, the AMCA. Indian, single seat, twin engine, all-weather, 5th generation stealth multi-role combat aircraft. And the Defence Minister has officially made this announcement and sharing these images on your screen, and has said that India's indigenous defence capabilities and fostering a robust domestic aerospace industrial ecosystem. I want to immediately bring in India Today's Sandeep Unnithan for the latest on that. Sandeep, you must have reported about a lot of deals and collaborations with other countries. When you report about an indigenous aircraft, a 5th gen stealth aircraft, tell me what is the significance of it and some of the characteristics of this jet. Sandeep, if you can hear me, as we put out these images of the AMCA prototype, it will be a major milestone towards an Atmanirbhar Bharat in the aerospace sector. But when we talk about indigenous expertise, when we talk about harnessing it and having had deals done with other nations, focusing on this time on what perhaps would be our advanced medium combat aircraft, what is the significance of the moment?
Extremely significant. This is India's commitment to meeting its 5th generation fighter aircraft requirements from Indian industry. Now, what the government seems to have done here is to repose faith in the private sector, who will partner with the DRDO's ADA, Aeronautical Development Agency, to produce the first prototypes of the AMCA. Now, the AMCA is an extremely important requirement because you're faced with China, which already has not one but 2 5th generation fighter aircraft in its inventory. And there's every reason to believe that in the next few months, China will transfer to Pakistan at least 40 of its J-35 5th generation fighter aircraft, thereby giving the PAF an edge over the Indian Air Force in the neighborhood. Now, this is something that the AMCA project has been in the pipeline for very long, for more than 15 years. We have tried the Russian route, where we partnered with Russia initially for the 5th generation fighter aircraft program, which is now the Su-57 fighter jet. A few years back, India parted ways with Russia on the 5th generation fighter aircraft because they believed that they did not learn enough from the proposal that the Russians were proposing at that time. We decided to go alone on this program, develop it by ourselves. It's a very wise and a very well thought out move. There are few countries in the world which have tried to do this all by themselves, a 5th generation fighter aircraft program all by themselves. So this is India's commitment now that we are not going to look at either the Russian platforms or the American F-35, which was recently offered by President Donald Trump in February. India is going to go alone on the AMCA. It is going to develop it. The first prototypes are expected by the end of this decade, by 2028 or 29. And it is hoped that the first AMCA will be inducted into service within the next decade, which is by about 2032 or 2034. Now, the AMCA is a capability that the Air Force needed yesterday, given the number of air forces that have already begun inducting 5th generation fighter aircraft. In fact, they have started inducting 6th generation fighter aircraft as well. So the Indian Air Force has been behind the curve on the AMCA, but this decision by the defense ministers extremely significant. Where
a quick word there before we bring out more details about, but we're also talking about there's China's J-35A stealth jets. We know how China has been supplying fighter jets, or Turkey's drones. Where does this AMCA prototype at present stand against that? Because we'll also need to have that counter. We're looking at our neighbor nations.
Well, the AMCA is a capability that is not going to come very quickly. It is,
Okay.
it is a commitment. It's a development project that will take at least a decade for it to enter squadron service. Now, as I mentioned, we are behind the curve on inducting a fifth generation fighter.